Thank you to Maja Hall for your support on Patreon.
Hi. Hello, everyone. My name is Deckerlink, the bald unprofessional. All right.
Hey! If it ain't my little boss. How you doing, Eina? You having a mighty fine day?
And looked at what little sky could be seen among the rooftops. The sun wasn't even out yet.
I know what you're thinking. Why is this fine buck loitering around the temple so early? Well, none of that. You had me so worried. So worried that I just had to come down and check up on you. And sure enough, here you are. And here I am. First again. Yep, I'm just killing it tonight.
First in the contest of people acting suspiciously, that's for sure. But of course, Eina couldn't say a word about it. She signaled Ader to follow her into the forge. Since he was already there, the workday would have to start early. Work at the forge went something like this. Eina worked on her craft, then she gave Ader whatever material task would make him feel useful. She didn't have any proper accreditation that named her a smith, so he wasn't technically her apprentice either. But that didn't really matter to either of them.
Rivet here, rivet there. And this weird one's going to my rivet collection.
There was something different in Ader that day. Something had changed. She could feel it.
Hey, boss. If you're all done staring at me, I'm gonna get back to work. Those shields won't rivet themselves.
Getting mighty full of himself because he got the attention of a female. Lies. Oh. After hours upon hours of hard work, I guess, it was time for a break. Lunchtime! The most tranquil time of the day for both Ader and Eina. Not that either were ever under any real stress, mind you, but the predictability of lunchtime itself helped ease Eina's turbulent temperament and Ader's talkative stomach.
What have we got in store today, boss? Is it tater time? Is it tater time yet?
Is it tater time? That's really funny because last night we had tater tot casserole. We've got leftovers, and I really look forward to having more of it. Ader had long since dubbed this short period away from the forge as potato time, since that was always the menu at Eina. Today was double potato time, since she'd forgotten to get him some food the day before.
Look at them taters! So tiny and cute! Oh boy, they look so freshly dug out, one of them still got dirt on it!
Ew.
Not a problem, boss. They're just...
Uh-oh. Ugh. Now that didn't sound like an Ader sound.
Did these things always taste like this?
Oh no. He's been spoiled. Ader tried his very best not to look absolutely disgusted as he turned the 20 or so tiny raw potatoes into puree with his pestle-like teeth.
Ah, what a wonderful scene! My favorite furry potato and temple turnip sharing a meal after their heartfelt reunion.
Oh, what a wondrous sight indeed. He's so tall. They're probably on like the second floor, but he's peeking through the window. That's fucking adorable. Illigrab's enormous face appeared next to the window. Ader, for once, didn't scream in panic.
You don't look so good, Ader. Don't tell
Ader.
me you stayed up all night looking for your sweetheart.
Oh.
Good old Eligrab. Sleep
Illigrab.
is for bucks that ain't got a lady waiting for 'em.
Oh, boy.
There's no need to be so dramatic, lover boy. Eina's a grown-up. She knows when she wants some space. And it's your duty as an upstanding citizen to respect the wishes of a lady.
Indeed, sir.
Or else.
Oh, fuck.
Your bribe is ready, you upstanding loverwort!
Jesus.
Fine! It's a fine, not a bribe.
Oh my god. It's amazing a man who can, someone who can shake the ground with their steps can sneak up on you like that. Ader cast his gaze down as Eina walked away, leaving him alone before Eina's judgment. Or he would have been judged if Eina hadn't turned 20 shades of red and become incapable of rational thought after Ader failed to deny that she was his sweetheart.
Hey, boss, I gotta get early today. I need to get back my, Goff's hat from the tavern. You know what they say, the hat makes the stag, and he ain't no one without it.
Huh?
We got a sound effect. Holy shit.
Why can't he go get it like a grown-up? Well, that's cause he broke his leg.
Oh, boy.
Gosh, no, it ain't broke, no ma'am. That dumbass just went and twisted his hoof the wrong way. Yep.
Your poker face could use a bit of work, Ader.
Okay, bye, see you tomorrow.
Oh, Jesus. Ader ran away, muttering something that sounded very much like prayers to himself. And so the days passed.
These are some lovely taters, boss. Perfect potatoes. But I couldn't fit one more bite in my tummy if I tried. No, ma'am. I'm just gonna take these home and stuff my face in front of Goff later. I ain't sharing a single one with him.
That's nice.
Nope. No way I'm giving all them taters to him or anything. Yep.
Oh, boy. Dude, you're so bad at lying. Eina was more than happy to collaborate in any plan that involved making life harder for the contestant to worst bard in heirloom. But, uh-oh.
And that's when I told the king, bite me. You should have seen my father's face. His leaves dried right up. I spent a whole moon literally grounded.
Literally grounded. That's fucking funny.
What do you mean you don't remember who broke into the warehouse?
Uh-oh.
I don't know, Master. It's like the memory had vanished from my mind.
That's an oddly poetic way to say that.
I'm gonna vanish you from existence!
Oh, shit. Both deer began clashing horns while Ader and Eina stared at the scene.
Can you believe that?
I know! Can't deer go 10 minutes without starting a fight? No offense, kiddo.
No, I mean, can you believe he forgot someone that important just like that? Can people really forget?
You are a living embodiment of the fact that people can forget important shit.
Sorry, Ader, I don't have time to get into philosophical debates. Those two have just earned themselves a free ride to the dungeon.
Oh, shit. The stroll took an unexpected direction towards the city guard's main tower in the northeastern quarter of the inner walls. It was the second highest tower in the city, with ceilings tall enough that Eina could walk inside. Ader had to go fetch Goff from there every so often, so he was relatively welcome as long as he had Eina by his side.
Take it to court next time. Street fights are strictly prohibited. Are we clear?
Both of the prisoners uttered a disheartened "Yes, sir," and Eina nodded to himself.
Hey, Eina, I was wondering, you could throw anyone in the dungeon, right?
Well, I wouldn't say anyone, but I do have a pretty good grasp on Heirloom's populace, if I may say so myself. Hey, I could even set you up in a pretty cell, if you ever want to leave Goff's place.
My dumbass did not realize that is heirloom. Heirloom! My fucking... Oh my god. It's so obviously heirloom. I do this professionally now.
I'm all good. I was just wondering if you'd seen never mind.
Uh-oh.
A never mind? What's that, some kind of flower?
Smart ass.
Prettiest in the kingdom.
Oh, you got... Clink, Clink, clink went the hammer of Eina's forge, but there was another incessant noise. It sounded like the bellows that lit up the furnace. Uh-oh. Its source was, of course, Ader looking out of the window, sighing like he wanted to empty his lungs. With a semi-nocturnal roommate in what may count among the 10 worst beds in the world, dozing off, spacing out, or generally getting distracted in his job was nothing out of the ordinary for Ader. Sighing, however, that was definitely out of the norm, and he'd been doing that an awful lot lately. Stranger yet, Ader hadn't noticed that Eina had been standing right behind him for quite a while now. Oh, shit. Another sound effect.
What? Huh?
Okay.
Hey, boss. I was just thinking about my things.
Your things.
Rivets and stuff. No worries, ma'am. I got this. I'm all focused now.
Thunk, thunk, thunk went Ader's hammer, and yet Eina wouldn't leave his side.
Anything else?
3 dots. Uh-oh. Eina put a hand over Ader's in what may have been the most confusing gesture this side of Lake Zial. Ader looked down at it rather blankly, only to find that he was holding the hammer by its head.
Wow, that's dumb even for me. You seen my brain lately, boss? I don't know where I left it. Sorry, boss.
Clink, clink, clink went the hammers, and it wasn't reassuring at all.
Taters, huh? Sorry, boss. I'm not hungry today either.
Aw, Eina looks so sad. In the great realm of Akazor, I believe, where the very essence of reality was distorted to make flowers carry messages over the whole continent, and a single king had ruled since the gods fought wars in the skies. Ader not being hungry for half a moon didn't sound plausible at all. Oh God, I am scared.
All right. It ain't like I'm not hungry, Kay. It's just that... Look, boss.
Uh-oh.
I don't mean no offense, but...
Oh no.
You ever tried one of these? I've eaten knuckles with more flavor in them.
Dude! They're feeding you! Be fucking thankful!
Nah, what am I saying? I know you wouldn't touch these with a stick. Your paw's sitting on a pile of Barhan gold. Who the heck wants taters when you can have figs and dates for supper every night? Am I right?
Oh God. The merchant was filthy rich, and he would have indulged in such delicacies if he hadn't been too tired of his worldly life to bother chewing and too cheap to buy actual food to fill the pantry. So Ader's meager allowance came from Eina's own, totally legit, unspecified source of income, which neither Ilgrab nor Ader had probably ever thought about. But why this? Why now? When did Ader get so picky? He'd never had any problem eating the same stuff over and over before. He was thankful that he got to eat it all.
I guess it's time I learned my place and stopped drooling over all the fancy stuff I won't have again.
Aw. Where did he even get to try it in the first place? Restless, concerned, gods forbid, worried. These were all adjectives that clearly did not apply to Eina. But for some reason, she kept passing a tiny, ugly potato from hand to hand as she stared at the city from her home, thinking about the small fortune it had cost. Someone, not her, but someone. You'd think that deer would have settled their capital in a beautiful prairie where they could graze free and indulge in hedonism. That the whole world looked something like the village Ader wouldn't shut up about, but no. A massive lack of foresight, coupled with stubbornness, and the insistence of the king led to heirloom growing in the middle of a steppe between the enormous lake. God, these fucking names. As I've learned with heirloom, it may look complicated, but it sounds totally normal when you actually know what you're saying. So I'm going to assume that with Lake Tizal and the Alar Sea. That's what I'm going with. Feel free to correct me. With barely any space for bush pens and the proximities, infertile fields, and a million souls to feed, food was neither cheap nor readily available in the capital, hogged by those that needed it the least. Anyway, point is that Ader was a poor starving deer and Eina wasn't willing to put up with this anymore. Find a cure or get him better food. Get him better food, motherfucker. Ader had been working incredibly hard all year long. Maybe all he needed was some sort of encouragement. And what better encouragement than, well, the one he'd asked for. But finding food in this city was absolutely out of the question. The moment it arrived, it was counted and measured, and Eina had calculated precisely how many potatoes she could acquire from each merchant before Elugrab began glaring at her. She'd have to make a little trip. Oh, she's looking devious. Big ol' smile. Eina mentally went over the list of her favorite weapons as she trudged through the narrow alleys that composed the inner slums. Not because she was afraid, but because she was rather bored. The sun had just disappeared as Eina arrived at the gate of Corbasui. Oh my god. Fuck, man. The music in this game is amazing, but this is awesome. Shit. The northernmost entrance to Heirloom as she soon left the walls behind. The grays, yellows, and whites of the city and the browns of the outer slums turned to a deep orange, interrupted only by the occasional shrubs sleeping in burrows and crevices. The stars shone high above, watched by the washed-out orange mane of the moon that illuminated even the darkest night. It felt like a kine. Step was as monochrome as Eina herself was. Some of the distant laughter pulled Eina out of her thoughts. She crouched down and hid behind a rock, examining the distance. A small congregation of merchants was sitting on straw mats by a bonfire. Their fur went from light brown to pitch black, and their bodies were thin, with bigger palmed horns. Fallow deer from the north. Their huge grave pines, the biggest tree of burden one could find in Akazor, slept behind them, basking in the firelight as they breathed puffs of fresh air and warmed their leaves. Their waves were unloaded around the bonfire. Carrots, apples, pears, salt rock, honey. Oh shit, what the fuck? Eina stepped out from behind a rock, walking decidedly towards the group. The merchants all turned towards her, jumping to their feet immediately. Eina held onto her hammer, letting its handle bounce on her left hand. They all knew what came next. One of them raised a hand, stopping Eina in her tracks. She walked closer to the fire, revealing a face Eina was most unused to, and horns that would have exterminated whatever remained of Ader's self-esteem.
Tasakirmat. Is a strange hour for boy of walk steep. More strange of walk with big hammer. Build house? Need help?
Eina stood in the spot, clinging to her hammer. The brutish, almost savage-looking woman had a reassuring look on her face. The merchants looked at each other, and then at the woman, speaking in a language that Eina failed to recognize, but that sounded very close to speaking... Basaktet? With a hot potato in one's mouth. One hurriedly uttered the word robbery. Another whispered the word golem, ambush, danger. The strange woman just shook her head.
Is cold boy? Is fire tea you want? We help. Food is of we, but fire is of sun. Tea is of friend. Sit with we is welcome. Weapon, not.
Leave your hammer behind, and we will bring you into our ranks. That could be a fucking setup. We don't know. Eina stepped a bit closer to the fire, revealing herself. She let her hammer fall by her side quite dramatically, and stood proudly in front of them. Oh, shit. The merchants nearly fell back at the sight of her teeth. Even the woman gulped audibly.
Is a strange girl? Boy? Sorry, I don't know. Angry at someone. Angry at I, please. No, basit upset.
Fall of bad, assumed Eina, switching back to her native tongue, even though it only sounded somewhat similar and made no sense whatsoever. Eina cast a long glance over the group. Just a bunch of deer and some kind of overgrown gazelle asking nicely to be left alone. They weren't worth her time. Eina picked up her hammer and made to leave.
You ward your path home, stranger.
Yidib. What a joke. Ah! Ah! Scoff at well wishes despite... whatever, I don't know. A marine breeze blew over the streets of Heirloom the next day, sweeping away some of the hot steppe dust that suffocated the city. Akazor was 2 moons well into dawn soon already, and it was coming to an end little by little. It was lunchtime, and Eina couldn't stop thinking about the previous night. She still couldn't understand why she couldn't bring herself to merely grab their wares and leave as usual. Maybe they weren't good enough, and that was her merchant instinct talking. Yeah, no. For some reason, she could only think of Ader chiding her, and giving her a disappointed look, so if he didn't want the usual, that was totally his fault. Potatoes, potatoes, bouncing around with potatoes. Carrying a small mountain of uncooked, misshapen potatoes, dried seaweed, and several bulbous roots, Eina made her way through the corridors of her home in search of her apprentice. A cloud or two could be seen in the big blue sky, white and puffy, off to conduct whatever business a cloud could have so close to her home, the once great temple of Hirub, the abandoned residence of a god that left in a tantrum after the Baran rebellion. Spurned by her former religion, it seems. Maybe, perhaps, I don't know. Not the most elegant farewell, but her father always said that gods need no manners, and that old geezer clearly knew all about that. The lack of manners, I mean. He knew a thing or two about gods as well, but he much preferred to spend his time cursing them for his longevity. Oh, there he went with his usual friends.
Burn the Siffy! This time we'll get him for good!
Christ.
Eina! Second-class daughter of a hero-praying beast! Quit whiffle-waffling and do something about this! I know you're somewhere around here, you fusty lugs! Eina!
Possibly my favorite character. So mad all the time. I love it.
Oh no! He's casting some kind of spell! Hurry up!
Christ. Anna just stared idly at the mob carrying her father away. I got nothing to do with this. Off to a pyre that would forever magically fail to end the poor man's life, a question resurfaced in Eina's mind. It was Ader's, pondering aloud whether Eina's father was hatred a little more or a little less for purchasing and desecrating the temple of a god that most people despised anyway. She took a moment to consider this as she walked into the sunlight. Sacrilege is a kind of global standard, I suppose. Oh, poor boy. You're only living a very poor life and have access to food every day. I know. I get it. I'm just giving him shit. Don't worry. I'm not being real here. Cue Ader moping all by himself in the courtyard. Eina, what? She just threw it a fucking... Oh, there we go. It's like, what the fuck with the potatoes? They're gone. Eina tensed up her shoulders and stretched out the food plate, attempting to pass the dish as something casual that she didn't go out of her way and spend her personal earnings to buy. Once more, instead of happily proceeding to choke on his payment for helping out in the forge, Ader took a long, empty look at the food. He sighed and looked away.
Sorry, boss. I'm not hungry.
Come on, man. A little fucking presence of mind would be lovely. So he'd said time and again during the last few moons, but Ader had always ended up giving up and eating. Less and less every time, however. Eina waited patiently to no avail. Once she got tired of that, she shook a carrot in front of his face, hoping to stir his curiosity with this new shocking ingredient. No answer. So there she was, shaking a rattle in front of a giant one-eyed baby that refused to eat. Seeing that diplomacy didn't work, she poked his snout with said carrot. Oh God! Oh God! Do not get mad. Do not get her mad. She will stab you with carrot. She poked and poked until it ended up in his nose.
You happy now?
Oh, what the fuck? Good lord. Eina's total desperation was purposely ignored by Ader, so a poor carrot was snapped in two for his sins. It was at this point that Eina realized she didn't much care about why he wasn't eating. All she knew was that deer had to eat, and he hadn't done so in a while. Oh shit, what the fuck? With all the delicacy her hands could muster, she opened his jaw and smashed a raw potato right into his mouth. But something was wrong. He didn't overreact. He didn't attempt to talk his potato in mouth dialect. He just grabbed the tuber and handed it back to Eina.
If you like them taters so much, why don't you eat them?
Oh, you ungrateful bastard.
And now you're growling at me? What's your deal?
Oh, you fucked up, man. Oh no. Her deal? But he was the one acting strange. She was just trying to help, and he still hadn't eaten a single thing.
I don't want your darn potatoes, Eina! Just leave me alone!
Oh no, man. Eina hesitated for a moment longer, and her fists would have given quite a speech. She turned around and angrily stormed off. That'd teach her to think about anyone other than herself. Oh, man! Oh, we missed out on the right choice. Damn it! Fuck. Guess I'll just have to check that out in my own personal time. Unless you all vote for a redo. Do y'all want to see a redo? We don't do it very often, but it's possible. Eina marched towards one of her usual hideouts atop the rundown temple walls away from Ader's sight. She needn't run that far. He wasn't going to pursue her this time. Alone with one of her potatoes and all of her weapons, Eina began rummaging through her pocket in search of a knife. There was never a lack of those on her person. Got a couple of votes for a redo. Redo, motherfucker. Would you be insulted, Sandra, if we did a redo? Because, I don't know, maybe would that be insulting? Because, like, I don't want to imply that, like, I don't want to read. I don't know, because you worked hard on both of the options. So just casting one aside might be insulting. I don't want to be rude. You would be delighted. You find it hilarious. All right. Okay. Oh shit. Shit. Well, too far. Why can't we? We can't go forward again. Shit. We should be able to skip to the next choice, yeah? Okay.